And we are back with segment number 2 of the Cummins Real Estate Show. Now, Michele, I think we got to let the cat out of the bag.
I love cats, and there is a cat in the bag right now, so let it out.
Of course, when listening to the first segment, you probably felt that it sounded a little different than how me and Michele normally interact. And there's a good reason for that, because Michele went through a process and, wrote an entire script this week. Well, you didn't write it. You just kind of helped it along.
That's right. I nudged it. I had an assistant, and tell the listeners who my assistant was to help me write the script.
I believe it was a little thing called Chat GPT.
Yeah, it was a free assistant.
Well, that's not going to bode well for anybody that wants to be your assistant. You're going to go, well, I got this that works better.
Oh, trust me, I have other stuff that could be done. There is always more to be done. Oh my gosh, it was such a blast to try this out for the first time in more of a business sense than just real estate remarks, because I have tried it on a few of my real estate remarks, not all of them since it's come out, but it has actually been really fun. And it was. I just went on to ChatGPT, and it's Chat, the OpenAI AI one, and put in an idea, and it spit me out something. But you know what's funny, Curtis, is when I first tried it, I didn't say, okay, this is Curtis Pope and Michele Cummins. I just said it was a radio show with 2 hosts, and it came out with 2 names of Ryan and Rachel.
Ryan and Rachel. You know, that does sound like very, very generic, like co-host names when you think about it.
Oh, it was fun. So I'm like, okay, let's change the names to Curtis and Michele. And I just went back and forth a couple times. And what's interesting is I'm like, okay, now add a real estate quote to it.
And it gave us Donald Trump, of course. Why not? Let's be a little controversial.
That was fun. And I loved how you said it.
Well, the only problem is when I do a Donald Trump impression, it turns into a William Shatner impression, because there is a little bit of, they share a little bit of the way they talk, that kind of staccato, the way they stop and start, and I can't help but turn into, it was fun. You know, like I turn into William Shatner by the time I'm done.
It's very theatrical.
Yes. Well, you know, you can't do a Trump impression without doing all the hand motions.
Were you doing? See, I'm calling in this week. I'm not there in the studio, so I didn't get to see that.
Oh yeah, I was doing his accordion move. I was doing I was doing all the Trump hand moves. You know, everything he's got.
You are recording yourself for our YouTube upload of it later this week, aren't you?
I totally forgot to, and I'm glad I did.
Oh shoot! Now I really won't see it.
No, you're going to have to miss out on that one. I thought, well, she's on the phone. I totally forgot to record myself.
Oh, my goodness. Well, shoot. We'll have to redo.
Tell you what, we'll get another, because let's face it, Donald Trump has a lot to say about real estate. We'll do another future quote, and then I can, do my bigly impression of Donald Trump.
I think that would be awesome.
Maybe I'll even see if I can get the hair to do the same thing that day.
Do it. Oh, my gosh. That will be fun. So earlier you're saying about, jobs. It's funny because I was talking to my nephew, and he was talking about ChatGPT and all this stuff, and how, and listening to podcasts, and, a lot of people worried it'll take away jobs. And I'm like, no, we are, as a human race, we're creative. We're always challenging ourselves. We're very competitive in nature. That is the human nature isn't really to be lazy. Really, it's not. We're meant to grow. We're meant to explore. We're meant to create. And I think this is a great opportunity for the human nature, for humans to create even more. Because just like when the computer first came out, when a cell phone from a telephone, I'm thinking real estate, how real estate changed from when everyone only had a landline. And then all of a sudden, first it was that, what was it, BlackBerry, where they text you on it.
Yeah.
At least you got notified right away. Doctors, had it before probably anybody else. And then it was the cell phone came out. And then it was the computer got more used. And then there was, the biggest thing I think changed since probably the telephone and computer is the DocuSign, the e-sign, this legal way of signing online for real estate, for sure. Just changed everything about real estate. One of the biggest interrupters, that name, I know everyone was sick of it a few years ago because it was going around so much, but it's true. Everything's coming out, like the Bitcoin, I don't know, like currency, that is a big interrupter. There's a lot of interrupters, but they cause us humans to be able to do more. So now that we have ChatGPT, getting to my point, is that once this takes effect, it's not going to take away jobs. It's going to just change jobs a bit. It's going to make a lot of jobs more efficient. We're going to be able to do a lot more. I mean, think of it as the more transactions one realtor can do because of the e-signing, DocuSign and such, than we could do before. Absolutely, hands down, you can do quadruple or more amount of transactions because you're not spending all that time driving back and forth, printing up the paper, then scanning the paper, then faxing. There's just, it saves so much time. You're way more efficient. And that's what this is going to do. I know there's a lot of scare about how, what if bad people take it and do bad things with it. And I know they're still working on protections and privacy and all that good stuff. But, and it's going to be a long way out before things, but I like it. I'm excited about it because I think we'll be able to do more. I mean, think of the billions, everyone in the world and everyone in history, and now ChatGPT can look at everything at one time and come out with possibly something to cure cancer.
Well, that's just it. It's the medical applications that I'm fascinated with because I know there's been a lot of fear and people holding back going, I don't know, I don't like this, and I can sort of understand those fears. But the thing about it is when it comes to the medical stuff, when it comes to researching, a computer doesn't have to take a break. A computer doesn't need to sleep. A computer doesn't need to eat. So if you have the top scientists and researchers working with an AI doing research on a cure for cancer or things like that, it's got to speed that process up like tenfold.
Yeah, because we can't possibly, no matter how many times you make calls, you have conference calls, you go to conferences, you chat, you have task force, whatever you do to try to gain knowledge of multiple people, ChatGPT is taking every single human's wisdom, knowledge, understanding, research, everything, all in one place, putting it all together and figuring it out where, they could be hiding something or somebody could have one part of the solution when somebody else has the other part and ChatGPT puts it together. And then the human goes in and goes, okay, does this make sense? Now it processes it. Just like when I did the show, I went back and forth. I communicated with ChatGPT. We had a conversation for a while to create the script that we did today. It was like, okay, now change our names to, Curtis and Michelle, but more deeper than that. It was like, okay, let's change the topic to this. Okay, let's change our neighborhood area to this. Okay, and then you go in afterwards and then you make slight changes. But it was really neat how the back and forth worked really good with ChatGPT. And I was about to say, now give Curtis a personality like.
Just give him a personality. You could have stopped right there. I get it. I hear you. Give him a new personality. So I don't. You know how I knew that something was up? I didn't make fun of you in the entire segment.
I know. But you would have if I told it what to do. I was going to give you a personality like some famous comedian back in the day, but then I thought, okay, we'll play with that later.
Yeah, that could be dangerous, too. All of a sudden, you've got me trying to be Robin Williams here. It'll be all over the place.
I did think of Robin Williams, yes, and Chandler from Friends. I was thinking I could try that one.
Well, I could try to be, could I be any more sarcastic? I could try that.
Yeah, that would be fun. Okay, we should do that next time. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about all that this is going to break loose. And the one thing is, I'm excited about you being a Star Wars fan, me being Star Trek and Star Wars. I love it. Is now that we can start exploring more things as a human race. We can now think of everything we'll be like, okay, now we don't have to do all this stuff. Let's just call it more mundane stuff that now ChatGPT can do. And now we can spend a lot more time and focus on bigger things, creating more things, inventing more things. And, the world the universe is our oyster. I can't wait till we all have ships that we can go explore the world in and go gallivanting across space and find new territories. Just
as long as we don't end up like the entire human race in WALL-E and our loungers floating around only talking on screens and WALL-E. All right.
No, I know it's a little scary, like the Back to the Future when he went to the future and everyone seemed a little dumb because they let computers run everything.
That's true.
No, I think we're actually just going to get smarter, more wise. The biggest thing is we're going to be able to create more. We'll have more knowledge at our fingertips, and we'll be able to invent more, because that is our brains. That's our soul. That's our hearts, the human race. We need to create. We need to make. We need to hunt. We need to, we need to do things.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential good here. And then, worst case scenario, we've invented Skynet. And the machines are going to overthrow us, and John Connor has to save us.
Yeah. Well, you know what? There's risk in, anything worth doing. There's always a little bit of risk, but it's calculated risk. So hopefully we're smart enough to make a calculated risk here for whoever created the ChatGPT. But so next week, okay, we're going to have a special guest. And so mark your calendars, okay? We're going to have Alex Cote here, mortgage extraordinaire from the Mortgage Source, and he'll be sharing his valuable mortgage advice and insights with us. It's going to be an amazing episode, and you won't want to miss it.
Yeah, and make sure that we don't get talking hockey, because my kid played with one of his kids many years ago in hockey. His kids are all super, super good hockey players.
We'll segue. We'll get some hockey-related, real estate-related hockey conversation going.
Sounds good. All right. So if people want to see your listings and things like that, where can they go?
MichelleCummins.ca.
And join us again next week when we will talk real estate in order to unlock your real estate potential on the show where real estate is maximized. Thanks for listening.